Why does everybody think that Americans are stupid?
Oh, Shimira, part 2 of this. Oh, I can answer again if you need me to.
We have such a rich history and culture that literally no other continent can compete.
I think there are many people around the world right now that are either going, huh? Or laughing uncontrollably.
Like, I'm pretty sure that some of our buildings date back to over 100 years ago.
Looks good what you're cooking. 100 years ago, yeah? Just 100? Cento? Cento is 100 in Italian.
Like, that was so long ago and the world was so different back then, and yet America still existed.
We did. We did exist 100 years ago. Have you been introduced to geography? Have you?
I mean, can you imagine? 100 years ago, there were no cars or houses or phones.
100 years ago was 1925. Alexander Graham Bell brought the telephone to the world. 1876. I don't know if she could do math, though.
Is it that an American did that made you generalize that all Americans are selfish and...
I was at a restaurant with my friends, and this white American guy, mid-20s, completely wasted, tried to talk to us. We pretended not to speak English because he was kind of creepy. He went on to talk to the couple next to us, and he started complaining about the amount of immigrants around. He was talking about Mexicans. We were in Mexico. You guys are making it so hard.
Now that the Americans are gone, I think we should start making fun of them behind their backs. I'll start. Here's one of the dumb things an American has said to me. It was actually one of my best friends. Shout out to her, love her to pieces. This was not her best moment, and I acknowledge that. She asked me, in Canada, do you learn that, like, America's the best country? And I said, what? No. And she was like, we learned that it's, like, America's the best country. I was wondering if you guys learned that too. I'm giving her benefit of the doubt here, right? So I'm like, yeah, it's, like, one of the most influential countries in the world, like, very powerful country. And she goes, no, but, like, did you learn it was, like, the best country? And I'm like, no. Did you? And you believed it? Anyways, that was crazy.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
Issue facing America is the most important to you?
What bikini I'm gonna wear next. Obesity is terrible.
Ice, not personally, I'm legal.
Getting a tan on the beach. That's the most important thing in my life right now.
I'm thinking about Starbucks, to be honest. I'm thinking about Starbucks, what I'm gonna get for today.
The elevators don't work. You got 43 floors. The elevators don't work.
I could take this little glass of water, drop it in the magnets. That's the end of the elevator.
What have you heard that Donald Trump has been doing recently?
Gulf of America. That's the last thing I kept up with.
We're going to war with Iraq. That's been crazy.
What do you do in Colombia? You got Maduro out?
You must be happy.
I'm very happy.
The Ayatollah's dead.
What? Who? What? What is that?
Who the is Ayatollah?
I've never heard that word in my life.
Lewis, what's Ayatollah?
I haven't heard. I found out about Chuck Norris yesterday. That was more devastating to me.
He was the supreme leader of Iran.
He's dead?
Oh, yeah.
We killed him.
You did? You killed him?
Is anyone else struggling to reconcile with the fact that there's a significant portion of Americans who are just insane?
In 2022 and 2023, the National Literacy Institute reported that 54% of U.S. adults have a literacy below 6th grade, meaning that they have a tough time reading and spelling words like flammable, institution, sympathetic, psychology, and also that 47 million Americans, or about 1 in 7, have a reading level below 5th grade and are functionally illiterate, and that 21% of them are illiterate. That's your reasoning, not that they're insane.
Wait, how did you know I was American? I didn't even tell you. Because you've got a fucking propeller on your ceiling. Because it's doing 40 miles an hour and it sounds like it's about to take off. That's not normal where I'm from.
Oh, I also forgot kilometers instead of miles. Why? Literally, like, why? I know I can look it up. I know I can convert. This would be like a fast fucking walk in America. This is like equivalent to a 2 in America.
One thing that frustrates many Europeans is seeing Americans online describe Europe as backward, poor, or irrelevant, while making statements that completely ignore Europe's historical influence on the modern world. America became an independent country in 1776, but European cities, universities, government, museums, and trading centers had already existed for centuries. The University of Bologna dates back to the 11th century. Oxford teaching tradition goes back to the 12th century. This institution was already part of European intellectual life long before the United States existed as an independent nation. And here's the part that makes this conversation even more interesting. America itself has deep European roots. The United States began with 13 British colonies. Its language, political tradition, legal institution, and many cultural influence were shaped by Europe. So when someone talks as if everything important began in America, Europeans may understand or may understandably respond, hold on, do you actually know where some of these things came from? So guys, and this is what we just want to talk about in this video. Kindly let's continue watching this clip till the end, then I'll be back with more comments.
I'm kind of curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
Okay, so I'm from Indiana. I'm from the Midwest. Temporarily, though, I used to live in Los Angeles before moving out to the East Coast. So one day I was in LA and I was like, okay, like I want to change banks. I no longer want to be with the bank I was currently with. So I go in and I went to the teller and I was like, hey, I just want to close my account if that's okay. They're like, yeah, no problem. And I go, perfect. They're like, can we see your ID? I said, yeah. Hand them my ID, and they're like, I'm so sorry, like, do you have a United States ID? That's just what we're gonna need to go ahead and confirm. I said, that is my Indiana ID, this is my driver's license, I'm from Indiana. And they said, no, I'm so sorry, but this is not a United States ID, do you have any other form of ID? They're like, this says Indiana. I go, I know, Indiana is a state, I'm from Indiana. And they said, no, I need to see a United States ID. And I was just like, I'm sorry, what is our education system?
Losing my marbles as an American here in Australia with the charging ports. First off, I bought these headphones. I was like, yes, cool girl, being downloaded. No. Old iPhone, okay? Then I finally bought this to charge my phone because it has been at 1% everywhere I go. Like, some places have had this, like some coffee shops, just a plug-in, but obviously the main plug itself I have US. So finally today I bought this for $20, a converter. You know, this plug, I plug it in. Oh, wait, okay, that doesn't actually work. Trigger. Let me just try another one. That doesn't actually work either. What is this plastic? Too big. Okay, last one. You know, obviously that's definitely not gonna work. So I can't charge anything still. I am being a complainer, but damn, why do we have so many different things all over the world? Different kilograms. I'm like picking up the weights. Again, grab these 12 pounds. 12 kilograms? Oh, shit. Times that by 2.2. Calories? What is this? Kilojoules? I sound stupid as hell, but kg? 7,000? Bro. No thanks. And then driving on the other side of the road, I can't even rent a car because I'm actually afraid of killing everyone. And I'm not even joking. I think I would genuinely crash. I'm like, I can't be that stupid, right? But why am I? This is not computing. What else is different, Ethan? The weight, the calories. The water. Oh yeah, and then we got water. Genuinely, what is this? This is the water. I feel like it's gonna get everywhere. Same with like egg whites, like I guess this is fine, but no. And then the accents, that's crazy. There's just different people with different accents all over the world. Like I obviously knew that, okay, I'm not stupid, but it's just, how does that even, humans are weird.
Some dumb shit that an American has said to you as a foreigner.
Unfortunately, I have way too many of these stories, but I'll pick the worst one. So I used to be a tour guide for the university that I went to. And before we start the tour and start walking everywhere, I usually say something corny like, I'm gonna be walking up front here, blah, blah, blah. If any of you guys want to give me company, it's lonely up here, we can chit chat, whatever. I'll say something like that. So a printer paper person came up to me and was like, hey, I have a personal question for you. To which I'm excited. Oh, they're coming up to me. Yes, personal question. This is probably about financial aid. It's about women's safety. It's about something like that. I was wrong. This man asked me why I was allowed to be in school and that he assumed I was Indian and why haven't my parents gotten me an arranged marriage and how was I allowed to be in school. And mind you, he was not quiet, so everyone on the tour heard me and I had to answer in front of everybody. Also in front of students walking by.
A few things I noticed as an American going to Australia for the first time. Instead of having exit signs, they have way out signs, which I kind of like because it reminds me of saying far out. Their bills are absolutely beautiful. They're colorful, clear, and waterproof. They got a little kangaroo on the dollar coin. I could not go anywhere without seeing this damn bird. And these guys are like really big, and for some reason, nobody cares when they're like in your establishment.
Yeah, see yourself out, mate.
This obviously happens more than just Australia, but driving on the right-hand side, God, it gets me every time. Don't even get me started on how early these mofos be working out. Now, I'm all for an active lifestyle, but dude, like, it was like the whole city had woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning and either decided to run, swim, surf, bike, whatever. We always hear about the koalas and the kangaroos in Australia, but what about the turkeys? I saw these guys everywhere too. Like at home, we're worried about like a little seagull eating our sandwich. Meanwhile, here, it's like a massive 6-pound turkey just trying to get a bite.
Americans, I've got the dumbest question I want to ask you. So please answer me this question because I'm genuinely perplexed right now. I've just discovered that Americans don't have on and off switches on their plug sockets, okay? So this is a picture of their plug sockets. No on and off. What do you mean? Do you go out and your house could potentially blow up? Because I would be scared. Like if I left my straighteners in, obviously you could just unplug it, but nah. Surely your house is gonna blow up if you leave that in there. Like surely that's not good for and surely your electricity bills are through the roof if you're just leaving everything plugged in. Like, surely, I always take my plugs out as much as I can to save electricity, you know, we're in a cost of living crisis. So how does that work? Do you just have to actually unplug it? Or I'm confused and I'm baffled by the American plug system, quite frankly. I'm planning on going to America, so I need to know these things so I don't get culture shock when I go. I'm starting to realise I don't know anything. So I'm here to learn and I'm ready to learn.
I'm kind of curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
One time I was in high school and this girl asked me what I was. I told her I'm Egyptian, my family's from Egypt. She said, no, tell me the truth, where are you really from? I told her I'm not lying, I'm from Egypt. She said, no, you don't understand, Egypt literally doesn't exist. And I was like, no, it actually does. I go there every summer to visit my family. She's like, no, you don't get it. Egypt literally doesn't exist. The US is the world. There's no other country. I said, so what are they teaching us in history then? She said, oh no, those are just stories. Egypt doesn't exist.
Nothing more humbling than going to a foreign country and people immediately clocking you as American. I'm with like a bunch of friends. People go up to them, they say, bonjour. People take a look at me and they go, we have burgers on the menu.
Americans be like, ew, you eat your rice with hands? That's so gross, that's so disgusting. Yo, you eat burgers and fries with your hands every day. And wait, you think that's disgusting? You guys don't even use water after taking a shit. What are you talking about disgusting? And in Asia, we call it hygiene. You call it paper. So, who is more disgusting now?
These are some things that have been said to me by Americans as somebody who is Canadian. Wow, you're so skinny. Are you on a Canadian diet? Do Canadians know J. Cole? Y'all know Drake in Canada? Your money's in pounds, right? So it's like really cold in Canada, right? Do you guys know much about the US, like where it is and stuff? Do you guys have Starbucks in Canada? Who's the president in Canada? So does it snow every day there? Does everybody there play hockey? Like everybody? Sorry. That's how you guys say it, right? So like seriously, how are you so skinny? Like is there no junk food in Canada or what? So Canada's hockey team is the Maple Leafs. Like that's the only one. So Canadians aren't allowed in the US without a work visa, right?
What are your thoughts on gay marriage?
I'm against it.
Yeah?
Yep.
Why is that?
Because of my religious belief.
And what religion are you?
I'm a Lutheran.
Lutheran. Because in the Bible, Leviticus, if a man lays with a man as he lays with a woman, surely he should be put to death. It's against it there?
Yep.
Also in Leviticus, it says you can't eat pork. Have you ever eaten pork?
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is that?
That's best president of the United States.
All right, that's Donald Trump with his mugshot, right? It says never surrender.
Never surrender.
Okay, that is a picture of him surrendering to Georgia authorities, though, right?
Fair. He's the best president of America.
Okay, but that literally is a picture of him surrendering, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And no gun-free zones.
Okay, so more guns.
Yep. Can't fight fire with water. You gotta fight fire with fire.
You can't fight fire with water?
Yeah. Depends on what's in the fire.
They specifically do fight fire with water.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. What is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
So I'm born and raised in the States, but my family is Brazilian, and I would often go back to Brazil to go and visit my other relatives. When I would come back from Brazil and go to school, people would ask me how I was posting stuff. And I would say, what do you mean? And they were like, don't they not have internet there? And I would just be completely dumbfounded. And I would say, what do you mean? Of course we have internet. And they would ask me, how do you get it? So I would literally tell them, oh, we have a monkey and we bribe him with a coconut. And we have him run on a spinning wheel, and that's how our internet works. And they believed me.
Telling me the American education system is the best in the world?
Yes.
Let's test that out. A farmer has 17 sheep, all but 9 die. How many are left?
0.
And they literally let you graduate without basic math skills?
Let's start with the biggest misunderstanding. History did not begin when the United States became independent. The American Revolution was synonymously important. But 1776 wasn't the beginning of civilization, education, science, or government. Europe already had centuries of intellectual, artists, and political development behind it. Think about cities such as Rome, Paris, London, Athens, and Florence. Their histories stretch back hundreds or even thousands of years. European museums contain artifacts from civilization that existed long before the United States. And then you have universities. The University of Bologna is traditionally regarded as one of the oldest universities in continuous operation. With its origin in the 11th centuries, Oxford teaching history reaches back to the 12th centuries. And American oldest universities are historically important too, but they came later. And we have all seen America itself grew out of Europe colonial history. The 13 colonies that eventually became the United States were largely British colonies. The English language became dominant. British legal tradition influenced American law. European political philosophy influenced the ideas surrounding the American Revolution. So American wasn't created in isolation. It developed through an anonymous mixture of European, African, indigenous, and later global influences. And doesn't make American less impressive. Actually, to make American history, we have all seen how American history is also more impressive. And America took influence from different parts of the world and eventually developed its own powerful identity. Its music, technology, entertainment, business, and political influence have spread around the globe. So the historical lesson isn't that maybe America or Europe is better than maybe one. We are here just to learn. And the lesson is that civilization influence one another. And that brings us to another thing Europeans sometimes find amusing. American arguing about where everyday products and tradition originated. Take Kitty Cat. A person can grow up eating Kitty Cat, see it everywhere in American store and assume it must be an American invention. But Kitty Cat originated in the United Kingdom, and this is the perfect example of how globalization works. A product can be created in one country, manufactured in one another, sold internationally, and become part of everyday life someone completely different. The same thing happens with food, music, fashion, invention, sports, and tradition. Human civilization is basically a giant exchange of ideas. That's why saying we invented everything is almost always historically dangerous. No country exists completely independently from the rest of humanity. And this is where some of the online argument between Maga Americans and Europeans become partially interesting. Some Americans proudly describe the United States as the greatest country in the world. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your country. Patriotism itself isn't the problem. The problem begins when patriotism becomes an excuse to stop learning about everyone else. Because if America is truly great, why would learning about European history threaten that greatness? Why would learning about Asian civilization make Americans smaller? Why would learning about African history diminish American achievement? It wouldn't. Knowledge doesn't weaken national pride. It puts national pride into perspective. At the same time, Europeans should not pretend maybe. Here is where the conversation become more interesting. And Europe also produced some extremely dark chapter. Maybe a lot of people are really coming out and saying that Europe also produced some extremely dark chapter in human history. Colonialism, wars, authoritarianism, and other historical abuse are part of maybe Europe history too. And we've all seen Europeans may look at American healthcare cost, student debts, gun violence, or cost of living and ask why a country with enormous wealth still struggle with certain problem. American may look at Europe taxes, immigration policies, or economic challenge and ask why Europeans tolerate certain things. Those are legitimate questions, but there is a huge difference between asking questions and making maybe ignorant assumption. You can criticize country without insulting its people. You can disagree with Europe without pretending European history doesn't exist. You can love American without pretending America invented everything. And you can appreciate Europe without pretending Europe has never made a mistake. That is probably the biggest lesson from the entire debate. And this is the reason why we have all seen a lot of Europeans are really coming out and maybe acknowledging Americans as maybe they are educated. So guys, let me just know what you think in the comment section. Let me see you in the next clip. Be blessed whenever you are.